Further to all this stuff about Gary Lineker, I found a most interesting letter and detail from October 2020, and it's from the BBC, and it says, actors, dramatists, comedians, musicians and pundits who work for the BBC are not subject to the requirements of impartiality on social media. And, surely that is what Gary Lineker is. And if the BBC can accept the comments of Alan Sugar, the outside work of Andrew Neil, and people who would express different views, maybe views which Richard Sharp or which the Director General might agree with, then they should also, frankly, accept Lineker's views. But it doesn't matter about his views. What is abhorrent and what is unacceptable is the sly and slimy way in which they tried to pass off a clear suspension, a clear imposition of control as something that was mutually agreed. So if they have ratcheted up the social media terms since Richard Sharp took office, since the Director General took office, well, Gary Lineker has been in position for far longer than they have. And Gary Lineker can look back and say, well, actually, he's doing no different to what other people have done. This is something that has been drummed out of all proportion. And the response that we should have as an audience is to act in the same way. And we should drum those two bigwigs out of the BBC. If the BBC is to survive, it cannot survive with the current Director General and the current Chairman. They both have to go. And I think it's really important that we write letters to our MPs and we write letters to the BBC, pointing out the inconsistency and pointing out the deceit implicit in the idea that there was a mutual agreement.